and welcome to Auto Today. And now with us today is Tata Motors brand new compact SUV, the Tata Punch. Hashtag Pack a Punch. Now this particular SUV is going to take on the likes of the Ignis and even the Nissan Magnite and the Renault Kiger. Now it will be slotted just below the Tata Nexon, and that means that the pricing of this vehicle is going to be very keen. At the time of this shoot, the car has not been launched as yet, so we cannot tell you the price, but our guess is around 5 lakh plus to below 7 lakh is what this car is going to cost. But how is the car to drive? What all does it offer? Well, we are going to find out today. And before we do any of that, do remember to subscribe to the Auto Today YouTube channel and press that little bell icon so that you get notified every time we go live with a new video. Now, being a compact SUV, the Tata Punch has a lot of bells and whistles which give it that SUV-ish look. The first and foremost thing is it's got that Tata design philosophy, so it's unmistakably a Tata SUV, and as a result you get a LED DRL and indicators on top and a nice little headlamp unit below. So these are projector types, this being the top of the line variant, it gets projector types. Of course the bumper is a two-tone treatment because these are plastic claddings which are found across the car. You also get the fog lamps on the front. The grille is nice, it's very much like the Nexon EV, you know, like there are no slats here, there are no indents here, apart from this little horn housing. Now if you peep into this, you will see that the horn sits right behind this, so when you go beep beep, you can, it's a nice and loud audible horn, so it should please Indians a lot. Apart from that, what I like are these bonnet lines. Like when you're sitting from inside, you know, you can see these points. These points are clearly visible from inside. So this gives you a nice visual where the car is ending. So people who have just started driving, or even, you know, pros, parking will become a very much easy thing to do with the Tata Punch. Now when we come to the side of the car, we see a lot of nice little elements which impresses us. First and foremost, the wheels. These are dual tone wheels. These are really nice. It comes short with Apollo Alnax 4G range of tires. These are 16-inch wheels which are available on this Persona, on this top of the line variant. You also get a dual tone treatment on the mirror. Basically what is happening is this is a dual tone color combination, and as a result the top half of the mirror is white and the roof is white as well. The ORVMs also sport these LED indicators, so they are nice to look at. You get a normal door handle in front, but to give it a nice smooth look, what Tata has done is removed the door handle from here and placed it on top. Now what happens is it gives you a nice smooth side on the car, and the other thing which is really interesting is when you open the door, it opens all the way to 90 degrees. Now when this happens, getting inside the cabin becomes really easy, and that's something which we really like. Ingress egress becomes a lot more easier. So overall, in profile, it looks nice. Again, there's a lot of plastic cladding, again SUV, so it has to have that plastic cladding, and it looks very interesting. Tail lights, really big wraparound tail lights. You also get a nice little Tata insignia here. So it looks nice and gels well with the side profile of the car. The other thing which I must add here is the ground clearance. Now Tata Motors have always known to be making cars which are fit for Indian conditions, and the Tata Punch punches in 187 millimeters of ground clearance, and that means even the biggest of speed breakers in the country are not going to harm this car. So the underbody should remain scratch free, unless you are being plain Jane stupid. Tight ramp and departure angles are clearly visible. As you can see, the bumper tapers in like this, and the clearance out here is really good. So if you are taking off a speed breaker or a pavement or something like that, chances of touching are very low. But at the same time, these vents are hollow in between. So what happens is if you're driving in muck or you know, water, it's going to throw out a lot of stuff for the rear drivers, so a mud flap here would make sense. Apart from that, again, lot of cladding at the back. It looks really nice. You also get a nice little Tata Punch logo out here. Now this has become a normalcy. It's bang in the middle. It gives you a nice visual. You know what car you are following. You also get a reversing camera out here, and we must tell you that the quality of this camera is really nice. So when you're reversing the car, you get a clear view. You also have the lines which will help you park, so it's really nice. And the other little detail which I like is this little rhinoceros, which is nicely embedded into this rear windscreen. So overall it looks really nice, and it's a nice looking car to have. While the exterior is nice and SUV-ish, interiors are best called pleasant. Now this dual tone treatment on the dashboard looks really nice, you know, and what gives you that little bit of pizzazz or, you know, a bit of fun element are these AC vents which are now wrapped around this blue bezels. You know, these are like really looking nice, and what I must admit is the quality levels. Now if I press the little hazard warning light switch here, you can hear a click. It's a positive feedback, so that is something which I'm really happy to report that Tata Motors has looked into, and the quality has definitely improved overall. Now you also get this nice little Harman touchscreen infotainment system, and this, apart from playing music, does a host of other things, like it tells you about your trip computer, about your music system settings, your Bluetooth connectivity, and also supports Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So it's a very nice thing to have. You also have a nice little instrument console, which again is taken from the Altroz and that range, you know. So you have a nice little analog speedometer on the right, and then you have a digital display on the left. Now in this particular car, which is a much smaller car, the size looks just right. So I'm very happy with this, and also it is very informative. There are multiple options, like it will show you the power and torque consumption and all that, apart from fuel efficiency and other things. The steering wheel too is a nice thing. It's a very nice to hold, and also it has multiple buttons which operate your audio system, your phone, and also cruise control. Yes, this is the top of the line car, so you also get cruise control. If you look at the center console, a lot of buttons have been eliminated here, and everything has been put into this little patch out here. So these are the AC controls, but the AC can also be controlled via the touchscreen unit. So that's a nice thing. Another interesting thing is that Tata has given two 12-volt charging points here. The first one is here, as you can see, it's a nice little thing on the dash. The other thing comes here on the center console, which is a nice little position. So in case your rear passengers want to charge their phones, they can connect it here, and the wire can go at the back. You also get dual cup holders here and a rather deep cubby hole inside. Now the car we are driving today is the automatic, or rather the AMT, and that's why you see an AMT gearbox out here. The gear stick is nice to hold, it falls to hand very easily. Also the driving position, I must say that it's very SUV-ish. So you're sitting really high up, and when you look ahead, you can see the bonnet. So the bonnet lines are clearly visible, and there are these two ridges coming up, which I showed you when I showed you the exteriors of the car. So overall the seating feel of this car is really nice. Now how is it at the back? Is it spacious enough? Let's find out. Now being a compact SUV, the other big question which a lot of people ask is the amount of space you have at the back. Now as you can see, I am sitting at the back seat of the Tata Punch, and this seat has been pushed back to almost the end of where it will reach, and yet I have a lot of room. There's a lot of headroom also, so I am feeling nice, and there's a big window out here which gives me a nice view outside, and of course it's a very comfortable seat. There's a lot of support in the seat, so long drives are going to be comfortable. Other features here include central armrest here, which you can sit comfortably. So if you have 4 passengers, it's really comfortable. But even with the 5th passenger on board, going out in the Tata Punch should be rather comfortable. Rear seat passengers also get bottle holders here, and you also have a small little bottle holder in front, apart from a small cubby where you can store your phone and things like that. So overall, the Tata Punch is a rather spacious compact SUV, and that is not surprising considering Tata Motors have always been known to liberate a lot of space inside the cabin. This is the same case with the boot. The boot is nice and spacious. It's flat boot, so you can load up pretty well, and weekend getaways should be really fun in this vehicle. The Tata Punch comes with a 1.2 litre petrol engine which is tuned to offer 86 bhp and 113 Nm of torque. Gearbox options include a 5-speed manual or a AMT. The Punch is also based on the Alpha architecture, and Tata Motors have tried to give it as much off-road credentials as possible. Hence, the Punch offers tight overhangs, and as a result, it offers an approach angle of 20.3 degrees and a departure angle of 37.6 degrees. The ramp over angle too is interesting at 22.2 degrees. Apart from that, the Punch also offers a healthy water wading ability of 370 millimeters. Now the Tata Punch comes with a 1.2 litre petrol engine which has been derived from the Altroz. Now what's different is that if you are out in the market to buy the Tata Punch, you get a choice of a manual transmission and the AMT. Now let's see how the AMT drives first, and then we will also tell you the manual's performance. Now the engine is nice and pokey. It's got a very nice feel to it. There's no girth of power and it really likes to take off. For that matter, at around 5000 RPM, it sounds really good. You know, it's very nice sporty soundtrack which you get inside. But at the same time, if you're driving like normally in the city, you will like the NVH levels which Tata has achieved with this car. So at around 2000 RPM, it's very quiet, it's very comfortable, and you will love driving this car in the city. Let's get on to the gearbox. Now in the AMT version, the gearbox feels a bit slow. Now by slow I mean that upshifts and downshifts both take a bit of time because it's an AMT and that's the natural trait of this kind of a gearbox. Now how can you omit that kind of a problem? It's very easy. All you need to do is put it into manual mode and shift the gears yourself. You don't need to press the clutch. There's no clutch pedal, mind you, and the car takes off really nicely. So that way you can play around with the gear, have a nice Tiptronic feel to it, and it's very good fun to drive. So overall, for the city with this AMT transmission, it's a very good car to drive. Now what makes it even better is the fact that it rides really well. Now let me tell you that we've driven over really bad roads and really pathetic top surface gone types of roads, as you can see, and on these surfaces the Punch just glides through. It's so nice to be inside this car where it absorbs everything, and this is an inherent trait of Tata Motor cars. They ride really well. What makes things even better is the fact that the steering feels nice as well. You know, it's got a nice weight to it, so you know what's happening. There's a decent amount of feedback coming in, so even at slightly higher speeds you will not have a problem. You know where the wheels are. You will enjoy driving this car. Of course, now this is not your corner cover, but at the same time it likes going around corners. Of course, there's a bit of tire squeal and all those things start happening. So overall the car feels really nice, and the ground clearance most essentially, it is brilliant. Having 187 millimeters on a car like this gives you a lot of freedom. Now say if you are taking a turn like I am right now, you can see that there's ample clearance in under the body. So even if there's a nice, you know, there's like a ditch, as you can see, no problems at all. The Tata Punch can handle it. So overall, I think Tata has done a splendid job, and just the pricing, get the pricing right, and this car is sure to be a winner. That's our verdict on the Tata Punch.